viewer. It is Demo and X. Let's have this. I'm excited. Geese.
Geese?
Geese.
Geese?
Geese.
Goose? Not sure. Thank you very much, Ian. Jokes aside, we do have a beautiful golden desk to bring you this game from. And Demo, I think we've caught our breath. We've managed to process our thoughts. Yeah. We've talked to each other. We've received, well, I think we've counselled each other quite well.
You say talk, you just kind of walked away and said, what a game. That's all the chatting we did.
Well, what a game it was. I don't think that anybody was expecting that game to go down in that fashion. Ian said when they got back onto the desk, it feels like we're already a good portion of the way into the night. That was map 1.
It was, yes.
And this is map 2. And what other map could we be going to than... I mean, this is a map that people love, people hate. I'm on the side of loving it at the minute. I really like the rework. I think it's brought a new lease of life into Coastline. But we know this can be a messy map. It's touted as the frag-heavy map inside of the pool. What better map for these two teams to be going at it on?
Yep. I'll be honest, Ollie, that last map, just thinking about it, was actually some pretty good Siege, like, playing across the board. I think, of course, there was still some sloppy moments from either side in terms of their attacking capabilities, but overall, better than, I think, what I was worried about. I don't think I had any real mental breakdown moments. You know, I think, for as much as we look at Helios and their kind of play style, again, I think they kind of went with, okay, let's just play refrags, let's play for these kills. And sure, it's a strategy that actually worked for them pretty well. A couple of times I've seen their utility not be the greatest. A couple of kind of pocket bulletproofs that didn't get used. Some mute jammers that are questionable in terms of their placements. But overall, I mean, it's still not as bad, I think, as maybe what it used to be.
I mean, the man count advantages that were thrown were pretty ropey. There was a couple of clutches that maybe shouldn't have happened. We could go in quite deep and question a lot of the utility. It wasn't the cleanest Siege.
I get that, but then again, we have a team like Ascend coming up. Ascend, they, and equally Hellraisers, they had issues with actually closing out rounds in winning positions, so I don't really think that we can just single out whenever we know there's other teams that maybe we might praise.
It's almost as if we're in the lower bracket, and these are the teams that have made mistakes up until this point. Maybe a little bit cruel, maybe a little bit punishing, but this is the lower bracket. One of these two teams is going home today. Their journey to EUL through the Challenger League finishes tonight. We need to find out who that's going to be. VIPERIO, they clutched up over on Chalet. Are they going to have to do that again? Can they do it again? Have they got what it takes? Helios, we know them to be a tricky team. We know these guys are just unforgiving, unrelenting in their pursuit of rounds. They're kicking off here on Coastline on the defense. They're going to be starting us off in what is quickly becoming a more favoured site. Typically, you would look at Penthouse and Theatre and you would go, what is going on now? I know that Helios troll their map bans, but believe me when I say they're not trolling their site pick here. This is a legitimate site now.
Yeah, it's a good bomb site. Big fan of Penthouse and Theatre in terms of the kind of revamp that it's had, and it's crazy to think that it's a really good bomb site because they have removed a window and put in 2 walls in place of it. It is crazy to see the kind of difference that one little change can make. These reinforced walls now are very coveted by the defenders. We're going to see Kaid be brought a lot. You slam down your Kaid claw, nobody's getting in that. Helios aren't bringing the Kaid, surprisingly. Not really any denial whatsoever. That is a smoke going for a spawn peak, and Joe has just got his first freebie.
What do you reckon Joe's done in the break? A little bit of aim lap, a little bit of terror stunt.
I mean, Joe didn't have the greatest of games.
That's what I mean, but he's coming out strong. He's got an opening pick down. I think that's the first opening pick.
This is what we mentioned. We mentioned with Joe. Joe can have a bad game, but we know it's not going to be, he's going to be consistent.
He's not going to have a bad
because
series.
We know what he's like. He's always going to have a good series. He's always going to be up there. And this is one of the maps where you could easily see him 20 kills, easily.
And that's the scary thing about the way that we saw the rest of VIPERIO play. We saw everybody really putting a big shift in.
You look at Draw last week. We've said, where was he? And look at what he did last game.
Where is he now?
Well, he is. That's bad. That's some bad timing.
It's bad timing. It's bad timing.
I'll take that. I'm sorry. I didn't mean that.
He's been taken out of the picture. Purple. He's been able to shut him down, traded back that opening kill, but the sentiment remains. And that is that we do see VIPERIO really trying to pull together in the same direction. Now, another engagement going on there. Both players getting chunked down to half. Lionscan going to come in. VIPERIO really trying to zone in now on Purple. They know that he's going to be downstairs, and they know that he's out there on his own at the minute. want to try and get that dealt with before they look to move on through. Joey's just going to try and crouch walk on. How has he been able to get through the angle? He isn't able to find the kill. Nails shuts him down. The Alder at those close ranges. Just a little bit too good. Akari could be going for a desperate hatch drop here. This doesn't look good. Look at all the utility that he's going to be sailing himself into. Not only has he got a Banshee, not only has he got a Surrogate, but he's also got a Clash to contend with.
Clash on her own is just a massive utility waste. You know, it's very, very tricky to remove that Clash. It obviously works as an information operator, and you're going to have to throw everything in the kitchen sink to get rid of her, and usually that's still not enough. You literally have to hope that the Clash just misplays. That's what you're really relying on, because she is a very tricky operator. We see that wall get opened up in towards VIP. Monkey has got a kill, and he's inside a Hall of Fame, so they have a good staging ground. Have they drawn Bedroom? You look right now where Robin is. He's a freebie. He is an absolute freebie if he gets droned.
No nades to deal with the Clash now, so they really need to start working on the players on the periphery.
Oh, I think they've misdroned him, Ollie.
Kari sent the drone in, but I don't think that he's got it. Robin isn't going to be affected there by the flashes. A long-range engagement coming out as Akari is going to start to now trade shots in with Purple. Curly still going to be on that upside-down repel, but no, the push on into sight. A lackluster drone yet again, and Robin is going to be able to capitalise on it. Is he going to find the window player as well? It's pretty likely at this stage. Akari goes in for a bold swing. He was left with no other option. It's now all down to the Clash. This is a nightmare situation to be in. Akari, he's one shot away from death with the Zapper, but the bold play from Curly is exactly what it takes. Drawing for the pistol is not going to be enough. Curly, what a brilliant move. Body blocking there, ensuring the plant was going down and just saying, you are not getting through me.
86 almost threw that round away. They did well to at least get the even man count. They had control of their VIP and the Hall of Fame. It was, you know, a pretty standard plant. We know how difficult that plant is. But they didn't drone that Bedroom. And again, I don't know how they're missing some of these key areas. We've seen that kind of plague them down inside a chalet, and it's happening again. But like you said, he's literally thrown himself at that. He knew that Akari on 1 HP, one tick at the Clash, and that would have been it. Diffuser cold on the ground, that man's going to be downed. You're not going to have time to get that Diffuser implant again against the Clash. So yeah, he put himself on the line, and he won that. Massive play from Curly. Massive.
Body blocking. Anything it takes. It's turned into a dirty game of Siege this now. It really is. It's street fighting tactics.
I think both teams are they're relying on each other so much, aren't they? You know, it does feel as if both sides are trying to play on misplays of each other. You know, for example, you look at the position at that Arunian. He's relying that he gets misdroned.
But he can rely on that because how many times have we seen VIPERIO misdrone? We've seen it happen a couple of times.
You look at E6, and I think they've been fairly patient. Compared to maybe what they were playing against Defro. And again, they're relying on Helios swinging and then getting those free kills. They're relying on I think last round, Helios going for spawn peaks and relying on those free kills. Both teams are trying to play to the weaknesses of the others. So it is going to be a bit of a messy game. And again, it comes down to who can make the least mistakes.
Absolutely.
Or maybe who can make the most. Who knows? Two ways to look at it.
Well, there is going to be no smoke mistakenly spawn peeking inside of this round, mainly because we don't have a smoke. But at least Helios are going to have a fair chance straight from the get-go. I mean, you just imagine if the smoke was in play that last round. It would have been said and done.
It would have.
There was no way that we would have seen VIPERIO able to push through that. But alas, we move. Round number 2. Kitchen is going to be the site. Joe already inside of Sunrise. Draw looking to make his way through security as well. Brian, keen for that outside action. He's got himself pressed up against the window. Nails just throwing down some cursory pre-fire shots. You do worry about how much information Helios have actually got here because you can just slowly see the net tightening around them here from VIPERIO. Every POV we flick onto for VIPERIO, there's a good active piece of information being displayed. Yeah,
good positions for 86 to almost go for a full collapse. It looks as if that Draw tried his hand at going for a swing on somebody inside a reception, but unfortunately does not win that engagement. And unfortunately for him, nobody's there for a refrag, which is surprising. Joe has to make this gunfight work for him. He needs to win this engagement, and will he win it? No, he will not. Purple will swing back at the right time, eliminates Joe. Akari is going to now get pressured inside the lobby. They have lobby control, fair enough, but not really much else. It looks as if maybe they're shifting towards a delivery side to take. Upstairs control is still in favor of Helios, but not as if they can really do much from up here. They're not bringing, you know, shotguns, opening up vertical angles to really put pressure on the 86. Hikari, this is a big play. Actually gets flashed by his own team. Nitro takes a lot of damage. He sees the Lion. What is going on? How is Curly still alive? Oh, Hikari finds another. He shoots the alibi clone. I don't know what's happening right now to Helios. It is a messy round, Ollie.
How have VIPERIO got themselves into sight, in a position to try and get the plant down? There has been a comedy of errors that have led up until this point. Curly, he's holding on. He knows that there's going to be a player looking to push in through bathroom. There's pings available for both sides here. It's a very difficult situation for both teams to be in. Curly needs to try and push on through. Hasn't got any scans left, so can't try and cut the player off. The pre-fire isn't going to work. No, it is not. Curly gets himself taken out. Robin finds the final two there with the pistol.
Wow. Robin, how has he pulled that off? I thought Hikari was going to be a sure kill. It looked as if they were almost playing, okay, we know we can't plant. We're in a difficult position. Let's just try and get the refrag and hope a 1v1 works. But they didn't even get to the 1v1 because Robin's just done that.
What a mess.
Oh, it was a messy round.
It was
a messy round.
You knew it was a mess when you saw the Gon 6 fly in, the ADS eat it up, and then the flashbang come in, and everyone's just full flashed. Because at that point, you're panicking. You're like, I need to destroy the bulletproof. The Gon 6 is for the bulletproof. And honestly, that one little thing, if that had gone a little bit different.
Look at Curly walks into the bomb site looking a different direction.
How does he live?
I don't know how he's lived there.
How does he live?
I do not know how he has stayed alive, but he did. Didn't really matter in the end, of course, but still.
But if there is an argument to take the Roni over the DMR, that is the argument. That is the argument right there.
Wow. I don't know. It looked as if he took at least 4 DMR shots, and fun fact, usually, you know, 2 or 3 solid hits to the chest usually kills the guy, but somehow he's just lived through it.
Then the alibi got shot. That was a comedic moment.
That was, yep.
Love a defender shooting an alibi in the heat of battle.
Just messy work in the kitchen.
This is what we thought this game was going to be. We knew that this map was going to be a mess, and it so far hasn't failed to deliver. Round number 3, change of site.
I like the Wamai pick. I think that's good. I'm surprised we didn't see any Wamai in Chalet.
Yeah.
Very, very surprising. People don't know Wamai now has a bit of a change to his gadget, similar to what you've seen with Capcan being changed, for example. The same thing happened to Wamai and how he actually functions now. So his Wamai discs have a smaller range, but now he also gets more of them. So I think it gives him more, I would say, flexibility in terms of where he can actually put these discs now. It's only really going to come into play for, I would say, certain positions such as Catwalk and Clubhouse, big open room. Maybe you won't be able to catch it as well. But for nice small maps, it's not really going to affect them much. I think it's actually probably going to help him a little bit.
Is Robin relying on some misdroning here again? Draw, does he know he's there? Yes, he does. Great pre-fire. I think Draw's done a good job to bait him there.
He has.
I imagine he knew that he was there from the start, hence the little couple of pre-fire shots into the double door into main lobby. Really been able to make something work. He's actually found himself a second on to purple. Draw seemingly has all the information in the world right now, and he should do. There's a couple of drones out there, and we've already commented on just how good that information gathering has been in the early part of the round from VIPERIO. They really do have a good handle on these defenders. Already giving themselves a huge advantage here. Naos, he's going to get downed from below. He got naded. Finally seeing some of those vertical nades come into action as well. He will be picked up, but again, it's more damage done.
Yeah, it is. I don't think that 86 actually knew anyone was actually lurking where Draw got that nade down, because it doesn't show up, of course. So for 86, you would say, oh, that's a missed opportunity, could have got the kill, but in hindsight, not really. And it's not as if they needed to pursue that kill at the moment also. They have control right now of that double window. They know they have sunrise control, so nobody's going to be able to flank them from the windows. And if you get somebody in this double window, it makes Nitro pretty useless. He can't really do anything to stop plant going down in Aqua.
Draw. What's going on with this guy today? He's found himself 3, getting himself into more engagements here. Oh, it could be the ace. Oh, Joe, you're going to nick it from him.
He almost did have that as well. They were both shooting at the same player,
yeah. I mean, again, Z-ping information coming out. You know that these players have just got so much info going for them at the minute. That's something that I think VIPERIO must be making a conscious effort, Demo, because we saw them have good information on Chalet, but we didn't see them have great information. We saw missed drones, we saw missed plays, we saw missed opportunities. They're doing a much better job of feeding that to the right people now. And Draw, kicking things off. I think the desk asked for him to have a big game, and he said that he needed to come out and have a big day. He's doing just exactly that. Found himself 4 in that round.
Yeah, great work from Draw. has really revitalized himself today compared to last week, of course. And that's what we kind of wanted to see from 86. We know that Joe was the top performer last week for them, and other players just maybe didn't hit the mark. I think Akari the kind of history that he has inside the scene. Again, he's a notable Finnish player. It's been around for quite a while. We expected big things of him on this roster. Maybe he didn't deliver to the full extent. Draw, of course, you know, we've seen him, you know, really shine throughout the Yukon season that we had recently, Ollie. And, you know, those two players I thought maybe could have done a lot more. And today, they're stepping up big time.
16 and 29 draw went in VIPERIO's previous series against Death Row. I would wager he's already got 16 kills.
I mean, he had 18 in the first
map, didn't he? 18 first map.
Was it 18 or 16?
He's already got more. So, he's already beat it, basically.
Might have been Robin in 18. I think Draw might be in the 16, I think.
Well, he's got 4 inside of this game already, so to go from the lowest rated player in their previous series to now really pushing the boundaries of that top spot, doing a big job. And that's the thing that you want if you're 86. You want everyone to
Everyone's
be
playing consistent today, which I think is the important factor.
You don't want to be relying on Joe. And that's something that we've seen them be able to do here. Robin, no, not again. Surely not another spawn peak. Player in behind the bar. I mean, it's a common angle to get pre-fired onto. Could have been challenging there onto the window. 8-6 are punishing so far in this opening engagement.
And that's a big hit. That's Sawamai. Like I said, I had a bit of a spiel about Wamai and how good he is, but he's gone now. He cannot put out those Wamai discs because the gadget works similar to Legion, where if you don't place them down, and if you die, you're not going to be able to regenerate them. It's not like you get a preset. It's going to come back to you throughout the round. So staying alive really rewards you for some of those operators. And unfortunately, like you said, that timed aggression not working for them, that's a great pinch. The combination of the E1D Ollie was phenomenal there for 86.
They had somebody on the blue bar window as well, so there was really nowhere to go for Nitro. Purple going to be the next player to fall. 86 look entirely different here on Coastline. Nails, he's going to be holding on to the angle, the holographic just covering him there as he will be able to refrag onto Draw, but still a long way to go. Lion Scan comes out to root the players in spot. Brian, he's going to take a little tumble. Nails, he's got a lot of work to do, but look at 86 demo. They're circling like sharks here.
Yep, they have a game plan and they execute that extremely well. Sinan was kind of thinking, oh, why have they went Coastline? Why have they went for this map pick? Is that a good decision? Because they did lose that against Death Row. One of the main issues I think we've seen from Chalet is there was a lot of different positionings that I think Helios were playing. You know, a lot of, you kill a guy in library and there could be 3 other options that a guy could swing you from. And I think they were doing that very well. In Coastline terms, it's usually just a lot of single doorways and a lot of long corridors. It's very easy to shut down rotates and shut down roamers a lot of the time because it's just the way the map's designed. It's not big open rooms with 3 different ways. You look at Office. Office is a fairly big room for Coastline standards, but it has 2 doors and that's it. And if you know that you're entering in, attacking onto blue bar, there's only one other way you can die, and that's security, and they had that checked. It's a very, much smaller map than Chalet, and it looks as if it fits a lot better with 86 in terms of their game style today.
It's a great map for 86 in their playstyle. They like throwing the lion out there.
They want to control what they're doing on the hunt.
Exactly.
That's it, yeah.
And they want to very quickly be able to control these defenders, gather the information, and hot drone, work off the back of it.
It all comes back to the first point we made. 86 need to dictate the pace. They need to set things up. We've seen what happened. You give Helios their space, they'll run up, a 6-4 against you.
Nightmare.
We know what they can do. And 86, I think, have responded very, very well.
Pressure on Helios to adapt and to really start to figure out just exactly how to deal with this. Do they need to play a little bit more site-centric? Do they need to try and bolster that roam and assist each other a little bit more? At the minute, I would wager that the opening kill is a big problem. They've lost it to a questionable spawn peaks or something of that nature a couple of times in a row, and you can't afford to be fighting these rounds from a man down from the get-go.
I mean, I don't really know what Helios are going to do. I don't know what they can do. There's nothing that really springs to mind. The only thing I can think of why they're playing very aggressive and looking for those opening kills is they know that 86 are going to be a well-orientated side on these attacks in Coastline. If you can get into the face and slow them down as much as you can, then it will help you in the long game. But again, 86 just circling like sharks, like you mentioned, Ollie. There's blood in the water, and Joe can sniff it out, and he will find that opening kill. There's the refrag, though, from Brian. Everyone else tries to jump on. It's just a flurry of kills, Ollie. 5 players dead within 50 seconds.
What a mess. 3 versus 2. Somehow VIPERIO come out with a man advantage after that opening exchange. You can see Nails and Purple desperately trying to rotate themselves back into the site because they don't have any site control at the moment. time for a drone and time for a scan as VIPERIO look to gather a little bit more information, just take a little bit of the pace out of the round so far. They don't need to rush this. And something that they've done really well today so far is to take their time when they have the advantage and formulate that plan that really is going to work for them. Curly just missing a couple of shots there, but he's got the info. He now knows that Melusi is going to be playing in near that main lobby. Another Lion scan to try and further deal with said Melusi. Purple has got the option for a full rotation and could look to try and get in through security. Monk, you've missed the mat! You've been caught right on stream! That's horrible stuff. Curly, are you going to be able to save the day? Finds one onto Nails, essentially, Demo. 1 versus 1 here. Does get a shot onto Purple. Curly, take a bow, son.
Did you see what he did? He kind of faked, thinking, oh, I'm going to run for the diffuser, get the pickup, and that bait in the Melusi, the swing, and then he doubled back, and he got the kill. Wow, big brain moves from 86, but whoa, that was
Tense stuff.
Very, very close. Misses the frost mat, which I'm very, very surprised by.
He's run out of mouse mat at that point.
He's jumped in and he's looked straight down, like he knows it's going to be there, and he's just completely whiffed it.
You got to feel bad for, I mean, if that round had gone.
That would have been on him.
That would have been.
Yeah.
And it's almost worse because he's gone to shoot it.
It's inexcusable for many cases, because that shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
And he's had a massive blunder.
Curly clutched it.
Oh, Curly did indeed clutch it.
Big advantage for VIPERIO. It wouldn't be the end of the world if that round had gone toward Helios, but VIPERIO 4-1 up at the minute. This is the biggest lead we've seen so far in this series. It was all pretty closed and tight on Chalet. Wasn't a lot separating the two sides at all, particularly after the half. It was a little bit defender-sided at the start of things, but 4-1 split currently with an opportunity to go 5-1. VIPERIO are going to feel pretty good about that. A lot of pressure rides on these next couple of rounds from Helios.
Oh, where do we go? What does Helios do? They went for the aggressive standpoint all that last round. They tried to fight against the players of 86. It just didn't work. I mean, sure, they got the kills and they got the refrags, but still the man advantage was in favor of 86. So that game plan doesn't work. I think if they're going to play passive in sight, I think 86, I think we kind of seen that maybe from the VIP hold from them, from that defense. They tried to play passive. 86 were still able to formulate a plan and attack. I don't know, it looks as if they've hit a wall, and I don't know where Helios can go. You could say, oh, maybe you're desperate to go for the spawn peaks. That hasn't been working for them today. I don't think there's been a single spawn peak that has actually worked for them. I think every time there's been a spawn peak, it's actually been 86 who have been able to get that kill.
I think 86 have come into this game ready for that. They've been ready for that mentality. They're saying, yeah, we're going to get spawn peaks off the rip. We're going to expect the unexpected. We don't know what we're going to be coming up against here. And it's working out for them. They're not being caught out by these little cheap tricks. Getting a little bit of information here as Nails will be just forced a little bit further back inside of security. The nade doing a little bit to remove him out of the position. More drones required, though, to gather and to figure out just exactly where he has gone to. Joe going to be threatening at the bottom of Cool Vibes. As we do look to push players on in, he will actually win that engagement out. There's still going to be a player behind the bar as the wall will be opened into Sunrise there. Brian, he's got an opportunity to find himself one here, but he really is in the Viper's nest. Curly in position to shut him down as Joe still provides Overwatch on that Cool Vibe stairs. But honestly, is he even going to be required here as Draw swings on through, takes down Purple. Nitro looking to hold on from inside of the site. Gets caught out there by the Gemini, but what a nade from Draw. As you say, Demo, coming out of absolutely nowhere. What a game this man is having.
So the past 3 rounds have just been...
It's a draw round.
It's been incredible just from 86. The confidence, it's massive.
Yeah.
What is it about 86 in the second map just works so well for them? We've seen them against Defro the last week. They had a very scrappy first map that they lost, and then they just come out of nowhere and they look revitalized in the second map. And again, the second map working so well for them. After, again, not a too well-played first map. Sure, they won the first map, but it wasn't the greatest from them.
I mean, you could say the same about M&M. What is it about Chalet and UK teams that they really struggle to take us to max OT? Because that's exactly what we saw here and now. And then the second map comes around and 5-1? Is this the same two teams we saw play map 1? Because this is looking like it could be a clean sweep.
It's a good split. solid split. Of course, keep in mind, Coastline, it does usually swing towards attackers most of the time, but then again, like I've mentioned in recent times, Chalet has been a little bit more defender-sided. There's been another tweak that we've seen, especially for the kitchen bomb site. I'm sure many people, whenever you think of Coastline, you think of the classic delivery rushes, where you would rush in with Ying's Monties and try and pull a fast one and plant at the door. You can no longer do that. So you actually have to physically move your way in and plant inside of the freezer section, which is kind of reverted into a lot more kitchen-sided takes from attackers. And whenever there's really only one way you can attack bomb sites, it's usually quite easy for defenders to set up the same way every single time and really help them. We see lobby, I think, be a massive avenue for defenders these days. You're always seeing lobby being taken. It is interesting to see, even with the changes, that we're still having the mirror windows try and defend lobby, which is, again, another area, like I've mentioned, that attackers have no interest in. They just try and attack from Sunrise, push in towards kitchen, but still going to be rocking with a bit of an old-school idea.
It's an oldie but a goldie. Nice mirror window. It gives you a rotation as well, and obviously with hatch open upstairs, you can then make a very quick rotation back down into sight.
I suppose it does also... Oh, spawn peek, and it's worked for 86. So we do see a spawn kill, and unfortunately Helios, where they tried those all series long, they unfortunately have just been spawn peeked. And this is a Joe map. This is his map. We know what he can get up to, and he started off very, very well with that opening kill.
Joe's a Thunderbird player just for the gun, right? Mm-hmm. He absolutely loves it.
It's a good kit. You have a very, very solid kit. Great primary, great secondary with the bearing. You have the C4. Obviously, I think the heals can be handy. Not, I think, as, you know, the sole reason why you would bring it, but, you know, certainly can have a good shout.
I mean, there's 3 of the players at the minute on VIPERIO. They're all juiced up, so it certainly does something. Nitro, with the entry, going to try and get himself into Hall of Fame. Naos, he's going to shut down Draw, who's been formidable so far inside of this map, particularly on the attack. Akari taking the aggressive stance, gets baited by the drone. Nitro in position to take him out. There is going to be a pre-placed C4, but it looks as though Curly is just waiting for the green light to go for that. Either that or they're going to try and recover it. Because there are going to be players looking to pressure in from VIP. Got Purple opening up angles inside a penthouse as well. The site is going to become increasingly pressured, especially given that there's 3 defenders playing on site, but Joe, the reverse vertical, makes it work, takes Purple down.
Holes work both ways, Ollie. As everyone knows, if you open up an angle, that angle can be used against you, and Joe has done just that. Helios, I thought, did incredibly well with that upstairs clear, being able to eliminate that mirror window. It's very simple. You have the Habana, you have the Thatchers, no issues there. But with that kill actually swinging, it does kind of favor 86 now, and Joe is still at it again. A lot of shots being fired through. Brian takes a lot of damage. Joe pulls out the secondary, and it's going to be a battle of a pistol versus a machine pistol, and it's Joe who wins that engagement. Nails will find the refrag though, but still not a good position for Helios to be in, because the other 2 players, they're in fairly safe positions. Not really anyone above to try and play these angles. Monkey still has these toxic babes, and Helios have to go all in with this delivery take.
Nitro going to be able to take down Curly, puts all the pressure onto Monkey. We've seen him clutch once. Can he do it again? Finds one with the shotgun. Could be full white flash here if he isn't careful. Nitro doesn't peek on through. He goes for the prone angle. Monkey finds it again. This guy in the shotgun demo, he's unstoppable.
Full blind as well. A flashbang's being tossed in. I thought, oh, this isn't good for Monkey. I think he's timed it just right to go for a very safe swing under the cover of the flashes, but nope. He doesn't care. He does not care. 86, another clutch, and I mean, I wouldn't say it was a desperate clutch. We see those smoke rounds time after time. You have to respect the shotgun.
Certainly not a desperate clutch in the context of the scoreline either. It's 5-1, that makes it 6. Match and series point here for 86.
Monkey's been so impressive, hasn't he, this series?
What a player.
Just, I think we kind of mentioned it, very underrated support player coming into this season, and he showcased that. You know, someone who you can rely on. Again, he does the dirty work that nobody wants to do, being hard breach, of course, and being this kind of support role, but you need that smoke to be your rock. Look at Nello and Eminem. Look at what he's been able to do in that role. You need somebody in that team. Every great team has a brilliant support. That's it. That you need to have the world's best support to be the world's best team. Without a shadow of a doubt.
Every great team has a great smoke player.
Every like,
that is the tweet.
Yeah, it's well. I would say maybe change now with the Brazilian teams where anyone can play smoke and anyone can kind of. But if you look at classical Siege, you look at
traditional Siege.
You look at G2. You think about Goga being that support. Obviously, you look at BDS and you think of Brida and what he's been able to do in that support role. All these great teams that we talk about, SSG. You think of Canadian, even back to the EG days. You think of Necrox. How many clutches he used to pull back. You always looked at the supports. You always gave them the biggest shout.
And it's funny because Joe had probably the best round we've seen him have there. Yeah, all the praise
he's been overshadowed, unfortunately.
All the praise is onto Monkey. Joe's thirsty and looking for it yet again. And it is still on the table. Just going to dip away before things get a little bit too real. The drones are working behind him now. He needs to keep himself as safe as possible, but will be taken out as first blood. VIPERIO, 5-round advantage here. They can afford to play a little bit more aggressively on these rounds, but they don't want to give the game away. These games can really turn very quickly. But at least this time, finally we're seeing Helios with an opening kill.
Oh, a lot of players stacked up outside of the Hookah Lounge right now. 3 players all on the same rappel, Ollie. What are they up to? I don't really know right now. Looks as if they're going to try and thread in some EMPs and maybe try and eliminate any ADSs so they can try and get a nade in, but they don't actually have any nades in their lineup, which is very surprising. Only flashbangs, and right now it's not really working for them. Ruby trades, though. Brian finds Monkey, and Curly will eliminate Purple. So with no nades, it does make the site pretty safe for a lot of these kind of corners. You think of Vase, you think of the Covive stairs. These are now safe positions that 86 can play in, and it's going to be difficult for, I fear, Helios to actually root them out of.
86 needs to be given a reason to move at the moment, and there's not a lot of utility that really is going to provide that. Look at how safe Draw feels. He's still playing in that corner, and he's looking to challenge on. He's now going to dip himself out because he's played his job there. He's done a great job of holding on, but instead needs to move himself around and dip himself back. Finds one before being traded. Robin in position to take him out. Akari could still have a big part to play here. Neos going to try and deploy the Gon 6 and remove the shield, but it isn't going to be required. Akari in the clutch, 1 versus 3. Going to find himself a lot of damage, but not the finishing blow. He's got information, but he's not able to work off the back of it. Finally, we see Helios grab themselves around here. It's been a while, Demo.
That Hookah Lounge was dismantled. Those Habana holes causing a lot of issues. You could see that the kind of general gist of how that bomb site usually plays out is those walls are typically just not touched. They're not opened up. But you can see the impact of just that one little change, that one off-meta kind of play from Helios was it created areas that 86 they didn't want to be in. You think of the that last player. You think of the Aruna. Couldn't really do anything in that scenario.
We've not really seen a lot of that site played either. We haven't seen a lot of hookah and billiards. Typically, we've seen teams go for the kitchen. We've seen them go for penthouse and go for double bar. So maybe a little bit strange that 86 brought it out. Not that it's fallen out of favour. I still imagine it's a good choice for a site here, but maybe just not the most popular one in this series.
I mean, all of the bomb sites in Coastline are fairly, playable. That's a good thing I think you can talk about with Coastline.
I think that's why it's my favourite map at the minute. Everything's viable.
I mean, I just love that the new changes. It's definitely revamped it quite a bit. It still has that same old feeling, but I think the fact that the attackers can no longer just sit in the rooftops anymore is a big thing.
That's a big thing.
You think of some of the windows that you just sit there and the rotations, just they didn't exist anymore. I think now with Castle being a big player these days, with the 4 Castle barricades, you can block off, the lines of sight that still remain. So yeah, it does definitely, I think, feel less attacker-sided. Maybe 86 didn't showcase that the best for us and what they managed to do, but, defenders still, I think, have a much easier time now, especially with rotations.
Yeah, I don't think that 86 are the kind of people to sit on the roof for 2 minutes 30 and then look to try and hop on in, but they were certainly able to get something going. Now they've switched over onto defense. They do need to find an answer here, but they've got plenty of rounds to do so. Still, match point, series point, as they lead 6 rounds to 2. The pressure on Helios. Plenty of bulletproofs brought this time as well from 86. They've opted for 2 bulletproofs and 3 shields, Demo. It's a very heavy site setup.
It is indeed. They do, of course, have some sort of denial. They have the ADSs. Even Castle barricades, at an extent, can burn through some utility. Yeah, so it is a bit of a weird lineup, something that I don't think we're really used to seeing, the lack of barbed wire, but then again, they're bringing elements perhaps to kind of make up for that, so maybe I'm reaching too hard, I don't know.
There's no C4, that'd be my sort of first port.
Yeah, true. Just no explosives, really. It's, yeah, certainly a unique lineup to see. Helios, they do have the upstairs control, and they have got that opening pick. Down goes Joe. Tried his hand at a Roman castle, didn't really work out for him. But with those two bulletproofs, should give them enough information, should give them some insight into how the attacks start to formulate. Curly looking to be a little bit aggressive here. Knows one's going to be in the blue bar window to the left-hand side of it. Now he's in a position there. Goes the E1D. Will anyone swing? Draw finds Nitro, and Curly just waiting for it. Will fire off a couple of shots, and that does bit Nay, who just sprays a lot of ammunition in the magazines of the Lion, but still the trades go back and forth. Nay finds another, and he's jumped straight in, Ollie.
How has he gotten away with that? He's not got a lot of health to speak of. Draw, playing from behind the bar, could try and find one, but he too will be shut down. Monkey is in the clutch yet again, surely not 3 times this series. The Toxic Babe canister goes out, the plant has already gone down. He's now in the retake. We do see Helios scurrying outside. They know they do not need to defend this from the site. They can instead gather information and look to try and play this from outside. A difficult post plant for Monkey to get away with here. He's left holding on to angles. The shotgun drawn, going to go for the challenge. Gets the heads up, sees the player behind the half wall, but knows he's going to have a hard time hitting that shot. Tries his hand at the opposite window. Going to go for the hop out, playing aggressively. Robin times it perfectly. All he had to do was swing and hold his nerve, and he did just exactly that. Helios, they're starting to chain them together here, Demo.
They are indeed starting to pull it back now. That's 2 rounds in a row. Great work from Nay, seeing the opportunity, knowing, hey, I've got 2 kills, that's probably blue bar freed up, and it was indeed, and from that, just a flood of players started rolling in. 86, calling a timeout. Good, solid timeout to call right now. You've lost 2 rounds, now you can see Helios getting a bit of momentum. It's a good time to just step back, try and maybe ruin that momentum and see what you can do to close this one out. Because it'll be quite a story to tell if we see a comeback.
Oh man, if this one goes to max OT as well, I'm here for it. I want to see it. I want to see that happen. Helios attacked exceptionally well there. I think they're doing an equally good job at really rounding up these defenders.
Look at the Lion working great against Lion both
was a
teams.
Big move. And not only the operator and the ability, but Neos, great play there on the window. I honestly thought, after he hit the scan, I thought that was it. I thought Nails was just going to bareface peek the window, but instead he takes his time. Little wiggle here and there. Doesn't give the game away at the first opportunity. And I think Curly maybe lost his nerve a little bit. You saw him just tap fire a few bullets. All he got was a shoulder. He didn't get the full side picture. So I think maybe the pressure there getting to VIPERIO now that it really is coming down to this is the round we need. We need this round to advance on through the lower bracket. A good time to take a time out, a good time for everyone just to have a deep breath and to come in to what, again, could be the last round of this series. We're really being cliffhangered here, Demo, at every turn.
It's been a great game. Great game so far. Great series in general. But again, 86 still have a big buffer zone, of course, that Helios need to battle back from. Now we head over to Penthouse and Fiercer. We see the Kide be brought in. No surprises to see the Kide, but Brian is well prepared, has the Thatcher. That's an operator that was let through, of course. Again, similar story. Usually Thatcher's being banned out, but because we know the bans of Helios, you can see the Thatcher's going to be left open. But ban from 86, I think, was interesting. You know, kind of mentioned who's going to be the best operator for you to ban. That seems very targeted more than anything, so it does kind of, you know, leave these big, strong overall operators that everyone will play. It's going to be open, so obviously the Thatcher will play a big part against the Kide. But actually an interesting setup, it appears to be from 86. Not just settling for the VIP, actually extending over towards the hookah, in towards, I assume, billiards with that castle barricade being placed. So, and even more of an extension coming in. And I think because they know how easy it is for Helios to actually open up that main wall, you may as well extend to somewhere else, because if you're just going to be sat in VIP and that wall's going to be opened up straight away, eventually you will die. That's just a fact.
Helios going to have a couple of tasks on their list. These castle barricades going to do something to at least eat up a little bit of utility and slow them down somewhat. Gon 6 is being deployed here. EMP for good measure, opening up the wall into VIP. Helios look fairly confident off the back of what information they've gathered at the moment. They have sent a couple of drones out there, and we've got 2 players at least inside of drones gathering that info at the moment. Robin may be looking to go in from below. It's a difficult site to really keep a hold of as a defender because you don't want to over-aggress in the early part of the round. There's still so much utility to try and trudge through as an attacker that even at the halfway point, you can't be affording to give things up. Nails, he's going to find an open pick there over onto Monkey. Still advantages to be had, Demo, from that rooftop.
Oh, he's been wall-bind, unfortunately, Ollie. Part of that wall was not fully reinforced. Joe's just actually swung and find 2! My, oh my, what showmanship from Joe. Just a quick 180, finds a second. Brian will find Curly, but still a lot of pressure towards that west side of the map, and because those holes are open on that triple wall leading in towards bedroom, it means that nobody from Helios can actually get a plant down.
There's actually a great pinch going on here as well, as Joe is going to be playing outside of that VIP there, but he's also got his teammates backing him up. Akari and Brian are going to find a couple of kills apiece here as Draw is locking us in to a 1 versus 1. Brian, does he have the information? He doesn't know exactly where the player is going to be coming from. Draw has the red ping. Can he land his shots? He's not got very many bullets left here. He needs to make those last 3 count. How have they taken this much damage, Demo? Brian, he's got the pistol in hand. Still live ping information available for Draw here. Brian dips himself outside. He goes, you know what? I'm not dealing with this just yet. We've got 40 seconds. I need to take my time. Draw looking to hold on to the doorway. Brian still starved of info. Doesn't know where Draw is. Draw doesn't have a lot of health, can't afford to mess this engagement up. There's pings coming out from either side, pre-fire shots exchanged. Draw, can he land the shot? No, Brian in position to shut him down, and Helios hold on for 1 more round.
Hold the line, it wasn't looking good. Joe really ramped up in that round, but it was all for naught, it appears to be. That is very similar to what we've seen on Chalet in the first, was it the first round, second round, whatever it was?
First round.
On that Chalet, on that bedroom hold, it was just a big 50-50. Both players just could not finish off each other. There was constant information coming out from, I think, a Bulletproof, which is probably the only thing that you would have thought he should have won that. Obviously, I'm talking about Draw in this perspective because he was the defender. So, yeah, I think Draw with that information should have finished that up. Should have been as messy.
The nerfed Roni ran out of bullets. Ran out of bullets. He had 3 bullets left in the map, and he knew he was running out. He knew he was getting short.
Yeah.
And at that point, you've got to try and conserve the ammunition. You can't just be affording that full force spray. But I tell you what, Brian, unflappable. Last series, it was Nitro. He was the clutch master. He was doing this, he was doing that. He was getting every clutch under the sun. Regardless of how many 1vx it is, Brian's been the one so far that is really putting his team on the back. And that means a lot.
Nitro was, I would say today, he's been missing.
So-so?
I think he's been missing for a lot of the moments, considering the performance he put up against Hellraisers. We would have expected a lot more out of him, but like you said, other players have stepped up. Again, I think Robin has been the most consistent player by far throughout both series. Not just inside of the 86 game, but also in Hellraisers. Robin was doing a lot of things right.
Doubts have got to start to creep in soon.
It's not looking good for 86. They need to finish this out. Looks as if Joe again is going to try and go for this spawn peak, and if it works for him the second time, then that'll be good for him. You see Robin just doesn't want to give himself away.
I mean, you just got to question. I think Joe's tempted for it, but I think he knows the gravity of the round. He knows that this isn't the round that you want to be spawned, because don't forget, this started off as a, was it a 6-1?
This was 6-1, and now it's 6-4.
Very quickly slips away from you if you're not careful, and I think the VIPERIO now is as good a time as ever to try and close this one out, because if Helios get to 5, you can almost guarantee that we're going to an overtime.
So Helios have played fairly default in terms of how they're actually taking the upstairs, opening up in towards VIP, will eventually drone out. Nobody is looking to play in towards that fear. I think we've seen a carry, was it last time upstairs, trying to play that mirror window, was very quickly exposed. The Thatcher combination along with the Havana pellets that made quick work. But they've learned they're not giving away these free kills. Sure, let them waste the time, let them waste the utility. But that does still give up control. It still gives Helios now this good staging ground and can really start to root out some of these anchors.
And that's the big problem here, isn't it? There's breaching charges available, there's ash rounds available on Helios. If they get themselves in and do the drone work and find out that it's entirely clear, they could rip the site open.
They can.
And that's going to make it very uncomfortable for the 4 players that are stacked in sight.
Yeah, I would like to see somebody else rotate, maybe and try and support Draw, because right now he's the only man inside the lobby. Everyone else, like you mentioned, they're kind of trapped. Draw, inside security. If he doesn't get droned, he could pull off a master flank. But if he doesn't, that's just a simple doorway to hold and can really stop Draw from doing anything. This is what I want. I want to see Joe over whiff, and Purple will find the kill. Looks as if Draw took a bit of a tumble. He stepped out of the safety of security into lobby, and Purple was waiting on the staircase and will eliminate him. So a minute to go, and this is looking a lot better for Helios now. That's 2 picks for themselves. Curly, will not win that engagement. Maybe he will. Finally, will finish him off. Joe is fine while on Teneos, and all of a sudden that lead that Helios had has slowly slipped through their fingers. A 3 versus 3 of 40 seconds to go. Helios, they have the lobby control, they have upstairs, but they have not checked Joe right now.
There's information available here for Joe, but he's not able to use it. Purple takes him out. Info was there, and Joe willing on the wall was open, so unfortunate timing for him. Puts more pressure onto Curly and Akari. Akari full white flashed here, going to be able to get himself out of dodge, but Purple is ramping up inside of this round, and he's leaving a lot of work to do for Akari. Left in the 1 versus 3 with the plank going down. The C4 goes out as a desperate attempt, finds the kill, but eventually is traded. The rotation from Purple coming in pretty clutch there, and all of a sudden, Demo, I get the feeling that we could be going all the way again.
It's feeling like it. What a comeback from Helios. 86. The defense, don't know what's going on with them. It has been very, very sloppy. Again, keep in mind, the only defense that they won, it was a massive clutch round. Also, it was a 1v2 reliant on the smoke. I don't know, it just seems as if Helios, they have really slowed the pace down quite a bit. I haven't seen the same Helios where they went for these kind of extravagant rushes. They see openings and they take them. I don't know, it just looks as if that everything that 86 have tried to go for, Helios have not fallen for it. They've just played nice and safe and just played pretty default and basic Siege, which, as we know, will work.
86 had set up inside a theatre, and they didn't even play anybody up there.
They seem scared.
They seem scared. That was my impression.
We talked about confidence from 86. They had an abundance of that in the attack. They were just sweeping in, going for these roam clear outs just for fun at many stages, and all of a sudden, as soon as they got in the defense, that same ideology has went out the window.
Clutching at straws here, their last opportunity to take this win and this series in regulation time. Changing sight. Upstairs we go. Hookah and Billiards Demo. This was the site where we kind of questioned Helios and their lack of grenades. They haven't got any nades here either. So I'm anticipating it to be a similar story for the way that VIPERIO want to try and defend this. We had Draw playing inside of Hookah, inside of the corner, very confidently. The adaptation that has been made here by 86 is Curly's actually brought a Bandit this time. Now, the Bandit could be pretty big, because one of the big points of contention in the previous round was those Hibana pellets.
Yeah, I think Hibana has been displayed great from Helios this game. Again, sure, Nitro maybe not having the best of kills, but certainly opening up a lot of these different angles that has assisted his team extremely well. No nades has been brought at all from Helios. Again, this has been a lineup that they just keep running with a lack of nades. So in terms of vertical pressure they can apply, and especially with a buck ban, it's essentially none. The only thing you can use is either Sophia or the Ash. Joe, opening pick onto nade. There's the line. That's been a very important operator for Helios in terms of how they've actually executed and eliminated players who may be in pesky positions.
That's the pick that VIPERIO needed. We've not seen them get the opening pick successfully in a while, and by successful I mean where it isn't instantly traded.
This
Bandit tricking here. This is what we wanted to see. We mentioned that the Bandit could come in pretty big. Obviously, Thatcher being available does throw a little bit of a spanner into that works, but
doesn't really
realistically,
affect Bandit,
if you can still get in position to Bandit trick, Brian taking a chunk worth of damage as well, as Helios are scrambling here. Plan A isn't working, Demo. They need to come up with a plan B.
Plan B, don't really know what they can go for. Looks as if they're rotating towards Aquarium now, which is an area of the map that nobody from 86 is really worrying about at the moment. You know, Purple, he can sit in double window, but as long as they still have the downstairs control, which they do, they have Sunrise, they have Blue Bar, and they have a C4. as soon as they try and sweep in for that plant, that C4 goes off, and it's all done from there. So I think right now, if you're Helios, and oh, there's the C4, like we mentioned, maybe not used for the plant, but it just gives you that man advantage, and it really piles the pressure onto Helios, who right now are not in a good position. Purple, he can sit in this window all day, but he's realistically not going to be able to do anything unless this plant goes in. All he can do is hold and cut off crossfires. It's all about this plant, and Brian needs to make a play. He needs to get this plant down.
Going for a little bit of an offside position there as well as to dodge the C4 that is inevitable. Joe does get himself taken down, but the C4 will land. There's still a lot of time left, but Purple is only one man, and he is 1 versus 3. The diffuser is going to be called. He's taking hella damage. It's going to be Monkey to finish things off here. VIPERIO, they do not make it easy for themselves over on Coastline, but they get the job done.
It was always going to be a difficult game for 86, but a 2-0 is what they take nonetheless. I think showed great character, even though it wasn't the greatest game of Siege, still being able to win, you know, big clutch moments. And Coastline, I mean, their attacks on Coastline only were a joy to watch, but I think the defense needs a little bit of adjusting to. Helios, they tried their best at a comeback, but they could not do what 86 did to them on Chalet.
And that was the big difference there, wasn't it? I think it was a very, very tough engagement mentally for VIPERIO. They had the run of their teeth on attack. They could do no wrong at all. And then they get onto the defense, and it was like, oh, these 2 rounds, they're going to take quite a bit of getting here. We're going to really need to knuckle down for these. Helios didn't roll over. Helios gave them one hell of a fight. But ultimately, VIPERIO, they just had a few too many opportunities there. And I think in that last round particularly, we spoke about opening kills. We spoke about what that extra man is able to do. And it really did quite a lot.
We talked about Joe. Maybe he didn't show up the best on Chalet, but the rest of his team did. You know, I think Joe, he was getting targeted. You could see Helios, they were after him from the get-go. They knew his points of access. They were ready for the refrags every single time. Joe couldn't really get going to Chalet. He went uncontested on Coastline. He was able to ramp up those kills, and look at the damage he did.
Certainly did a lot of damage. We are going to throw it to a very short break before coming back with a little bit of analysis there. But VIPERIO have made it. They are going to advance through this lower bracket to our quarterfinals, in a couple of days' time. We're going to go to a very short break, and then we'll be back.